Walmart is the world's largest employer and retailer. Since its inception in 1962, Walmart has become a billion-dollar business, generating more than $600 billion in revenue in 2023 alone. But the story of how this company became the largest on the planet actually has amazing, humble beginnings. It all started with a poor farmer with a dream. Sam Walton was born in Kingfisher, Oklahoma, on March 29, 1918. His parents, Thomas Gibson Walton and Nancy Lee, were farmers. However, farming didn't provide enough of an income to provide for the family, so Thomas went into farm mortgaging. The Walton family moved around through Sam's early childhood in order to make ends meet, and Sam spent much of his adolescence in Missouri. The family lived in Missouri during the Great Depression, and Sam, although still in school, had to take on odd jobs to make money. He milked the family's cows and brought the bottled milk to customers in their neighborhood. As well, he delivered newspapers and sold magazine subscriptions. These jobs taught Sam an invaluable lesson. It took work to make money, and hard work was essential for success. Sam was a decent student and beloved classmate. In fact, when he graduated from high school, he was voted the school's most versatile boy. After high school, Sam immediately enrolled in the University of Missouri, hoping to gain the education he needed to have a successful career. Throughout his college education, Sam kept working odd jobs to support himself, including waiting tables. In addition to taking classes and working, Sam was also the president of his Bible class in the ROTC program, part of a fraternity, and even a member of a secret society on campus. He was extremely well liked by his peers, and by the time Sam graduated in 1940, it seemed as though the sky was the limit. Walton is quoted as saying that it was his time in the ROTC that made him realize he wanted to go into business for himself, but he wasn't quite ready yet. Out of college, Walton got a job at JCPenney as a management trainee in Iowa. Although Sam made it a full 18 months at JCPenney before leaving to join the Army, he wasn't considered an exemplary employee. In fact, his boss was constantly disappointed in his bookkeeping, though Sam claimed that the reason his numbers were often off was that he was more focused on the customer service and didn't like to keep them waiting while he fumbled with the numbers. He was a talented salesman, but his career was cut short when World War II began, and Sam enrolled in the U.S. Army to serve his country. The Army saw Walton's inherent leadership skills, and he was quickly promoted within the intelligence corps. After the war in 1945, Sam decided it was finally time to open his own store. By then, he had a wife and a child, and wanted to provide the life for them that he never had, one with financial security. Walton took out a $20,000 loan from his father-in-law and used his entire savings of $5,000 to purchase Ben Franklin's store in Newport, Arkansas. Although owning his own store had always been Sam Walton's dream, it was considered an extremely risky investment. During the Great Depression, small stores throughout the country failed left and right, and the Ben Franklin store that Sam bought was hemorrhaging money. But Sam truly believed that hard work was the key to success, and that if he put everything he had into it, he could create a successful business. And Sam Walton didn't just work hard at the store. He spent all of his free time reading everything there was to know about success in retail. However, it's widely known that although Sam did extensive research on the do's and don'ts of retail, he essentially broke every rule in the book and decided that he was going to do things very differently. One of the big changes he made that led to his success was that instead of buying from local merchants, he bought from larger distributors with lower price points and was able to sell his goods for far less than his competitors. Just as when he was working at JCPenney, Sam Walton continued to focus on customer service above all else. This tactic, along with focusing on selling in volume as opposed to high profit margins, led to his incredible success in the world of retail. Sam was doing so well at his store that he asked his brother Bud to come on as his business partner. The two worked well together, and their store became incredibly popular. By the end of the first year, they had made over $100,000 in revenue, which was almost 50% more than the previous owners. And only 3 years later, their sales had almost doubled. It was clear that the Walton brothers were onto something, but only a few years later, everything changed. It turned out that Sam had made a huge mistake when he signed the lease for the store in 1945. There was no renewal clause anywhere in the document, so when the contract was up, the original owners wanted it back to carry on with the success Sam had worked so hard to create. Sam and Bud Walton knew they wanted to start again, but they didn't know where. They certainly had to leave Newport, Arkansas, but this was where Sam and his family had built their home. It was a trying time for the Waltons, but luckily it didn't last long. Sam found a store available in Bentonville, Arkansas, and made sure that the lease was very specific. It was his for 99 years. There, he opened his second store in 1950, naming it after his family, Walton's Five and Dime. Walton's wasn't the only variety store in town, and the local residents didn't believe that Sam and his family would be able to survive opening another, let alone be successful. But of course, Sam Walton had his business model in place. He continued to provide the lowest prices in town, but he also had a new idea that changed retail forever. At the time, when shopping in a variety store, sales clerks would collect the products for the customer, but Sam brought in the idea of self-service. He allowed his customers to walk the aisles and choose their products themselves, then pay as they were leaving. The idea was simple. It would cut down costs as he wouldn't need so many employees, which meant he could reduce the price of his goods even more. This one tactic led to Sam's profits tripling in just 1 year. And the influx of cash flow meant only one thing to Sam: expansion. By the end of the decade that started with only one store, there were 15 Walton's Five and Dimes. In addition to keeping prices low, Sam wanted to be able to provide the perfect shopping experience for his customers, which led to an idea that would once again change the industry forever. Sam Walton decided that he would build mega stores where his customers could come to purchase absolutely everything they needed. The stores would be located in small towns where residents struggled to find products they needed, or if they could find them, had to pay a premium and visit many small shops to do so. Sam's idea was considered risky as his prices were so low, people wondered how he would ever turn a profit. But he believed in the idea wholeheartedly and started building giant stores that would provide discounts on every item they sold. In order to make this dream a reality, Sam Walton borrowed huge sums of money, remortgaged his home, and opened the first Walmart store in Arkansas in 1962. It turned out that Sam Walton's idea was not only a good one, it was a great one. Customers loved the fact that they could get everything they needed in one place, and the prices were absolutely unbeatable. Everyone was shopping at Walmart, and the sales grew exponentially in just the first year. And Sam's innovative ideas didn't stop there. He replaced wooden shelves with metal ones to cut costs, kept the doors open for long hours, and built large, free parking lots so there was always somewhere to park, even at the busiest times of day. His tactics were certainly unique, as no one else was providing these services at incredible discounts. And by the end of the decade, in 1970, Sam decided it was time to take the company public and start making the big bucks. As soon as Walmart went public, it made over $5 million. But Walton was careful to ensure his family retained the majority of the company and kept control. With this money, Sam paid off all his debts and loans and went forward with his plan to make Walmart a national sensation. By 1980, there were 276 Walmart stores throughout the continental U.S. But that was just the start. Throughout the 80s, an average of 100 Walmart stores opened every year. Of course, Sam Walton had dozens of incredible and innovative ideas throughout his career, but many argue that one of the best things he ever did was focus on his employees. Sam made Walmart employees partners in the business, so when he made money, they made money. He wanted them to be extremely motivated to provide the best possible customer service every day. Along with this idea, he also ensured that his warehouses were close to the stores so that every product was consistently stocked and available for his customers. And by buying directly from manufacturers, he could sell those products at a fraction of the costs his competitors were offering. By the new millennium, there was no doubt that Walmart had become one of the most successful companies in the world. Sam Walton passed away in 1992 from cancer, but luckily he was able to see his dream of creating a successful retail store before dying. In fact, the year Sam Walton passed, his company was making $50 billion annually, and there were already almost 2,000 stores around the world. Over the past 30 years without Sam, the Waltons have kept ownership of Walmart, and the company has continued to grow exponentially. Today, it's worth an unbelievable $500 billion, and there are almost 5,000 stores all over the planet. To say that Sam Walton, the poor farmer boy who opened his first store in 1945, changed the retail industry would be an understatement. He didn't just change retail. Sam Walton changed the world. Hungry for another fascinating business story? Click on the following video to hear the crazy story about the man who invented KFC out of a gas station.